Hello, it's Simon Zutshi here, and in this short video, I want to talk about calculating your ROI. In other words, how can you work out if something is a good investment or not, and should you do it? This is how we compare one investment with another investment. Now, I've been investing in property since 1995, and I've been teaching other people like you how to be successful investors since 2003. So that's 2 decades of teaching people how to become more successful. And what I'm sharing in this video is really important. It will help you speed up your success because it will help you work out what's a good deal and what's not a good deal. So you can stop wasting time on deals that don't really work and just focus on the highly profitable deals. So what is ROI? ROI stands for return on investment, and it's a way of us comparing one deal with another. So the very basic calculation is this. What we do is we look at the annual profit that we make every single year. Now it's profit. It's not the rental income, it's the profit. In other words, we take the rent less the expenses, including the mortgage, the insurance, the management fee, the maintenance, all of the bills, everything we're paying to give us the annual profit we make before tax. And we divide that by the initial investment required to acquire that property. So the deposit, the stamp duty, anything we had to put into the property to get it up and running in the first place. So we divide the annual profit by the initial investment, and then we take that answer and multiply it by a factor of 100 to give us a percentage. The higher the percentage, the better the deal. So to put this into context for you, a normal buy-to-let property around the UK might give about a 5 to 7% ROI. Up north, you might possibly get a double-digit ROI, maybe 10%. And in expensive areas like London, your ROI is going to be more like 2 to 3%. Now that's a single-let property. One of my favorite strategies is HMO, houses of multiple occupation, where we take a house and we rent out individual rooms to different people, and we include all the bills to those people. So very cost effective for those people to live there. And we provide really good accommodation, so it's very popular. And we get a much better cash flow and thus a better return on investment. Because to increase your return on investment, you either need to increase the top of the formula, the amount of profit you're making, or you need to reduce the bottom of the formula, the amount of money you're putting in. Now, I'll come to talk about that in a moment. But an HMO, if you're managing yourself, should make at least 20% return on investment. If you factor in management costs, it might be more like 15% ROI. So this is why HMOs are a much more popular strategy than single-let properties, particularly in the current market where single-lets don't really make enough money because of the high interest rates, where with an HMO, even though we've got high interest rates, we can still make a really good cash flow and thus make a great return on investment. Now, how do we maximize our return on investment? So we can use strategies where we're minimizing the amount of money we actually put into the property. So strategies such as rent to rent or purchase lease option. We don't own the property. You're renting it from an owner. You pay them a fixed amount of return each month. Then you rent it out for more money to make a profit, and you haven't put much money in the first place. So if you're doing a rent to rent deal, your ROI should be at least 100% per annum. What that means is, let's say you're making, I don't know, £1,000 per month profit from a property. That's £12,000 a year. It means the maximum you could put into that project would be £12,000 initially to get it going. Thus, you'd get all your money back in the first year. Now, ideally, you're putting a lot less than 12,000 in. You might put, I don't know, 6,000 in, which means you'd have a 200% return on investment. So if you're not putting a lot of money in, it gives you a much higher ROI. Now, if you're doing a purchase lease option, again, you're not putting a lot of money in, but the benefit on a purchase lease option over and above a rent to rent is you also have the right to buy that property at some time in the future if you want to do that. Typically 3 to 5 years, we set the price now, we could benefit from long-term capital growth. Therefore, we might be prepared to put more money into that deal because we're actually adding value to the property that we can eventually keep. And so in that basis, we might be happy with a 50% ROI with a purchase lease option. If you think about it, what that means is there might be a deal that doesn't work as a rent to rent. It's not at least 100% ROI, but actually it does work as a purchasing option. So just bear that in mind when you're speaking to sellers trying to work out what strategy should I use on this property. Now, the other thing I want to mention, which is also really important, sometimes we buy properties which are pretty much ready to go, a lick of paint, a little bit of new furniture, and we can start renting it out. And that's great. However, there are sometimes properties that need a significant amount of work doing to them. We need to do a big refurb that might be 50, 75, or even £100,000 we're spending. So if you do the traditional ROI calculation and you're putting a load of money into the refurb, what it means is the bottom of the formula is going to be much bigger and you're going to have a very low ROI. However, if you're spending a huge amount of money on a property, you're adding value. The objective is you're increasing the value with the goal of refinancing, so remortgaging that property 6 to 9 months after ownership. What that means is because you've increased the value, you'll increase the borrowing. Now, if you increase the borrowing, you'll be paying more interest each month. So it will reduce the top of the formula. The amount of profit you're making is going to come down. However, when you remortgage, you're going to get a whole load of money back from the second mortgage company. That might be your deposit coming back to you. It might be some or all of your refurb costs. So you're also reducing the amount on the bottom of the formula. Therefore, we might buy a property that doesn't give us a good ROI initially, but once we refinance it, get most of our money out, it might be a 20, 50, or even 100% ROI based on the money left in. Now, a mistake I see many investors make when they're doing the BRRR strategy, where you buy, you refurbish, you refinance, and you rent out, and then you repeat, is that people say, well, if I've got to leave £50,000 in the property, it's not a good deal. I can't afford to do that because I'll eventually run out of money. And yes, whilst that's true, you would run out of money if it was your £50,000 you're leaving in the deal. But here's the point. When you look at the ROI on that 50,000 needs leaving in, it might be a 20, 30, 50% ROI. In which case you could borrow that money from someone else, give them a very healthy rate of return, and you're still making good money on that property. So please don't discount deals where you can't recycle all of your deposit, because you can't always do that. Sometimes there needs to be some money left in, but it doesn't need to be your money. So I hope this has been useful. By the way, if you like this video, please hit the like button. Please comment below. I'll come and answer as many questions as I can. And if you haven't subscribed to this YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon, because whenever we bring a new video out, you'll get notified that that new video has come out. And some of the content we produce is very timely with things happening in the market. So you want to make sure you watch those videos as soon as they come out. Ones like this about ROI kind of doesn't really matter when you watch this, because it's a classic part about property investing, which you really need to know and understand. So I hope this video has been useful. We've got lots of other great videos on this channel for you. Have a look around at my other videos. I'm sure they're going to give great content to you. And as ever, I'd encourage you to invest with knowledge, invest with skill. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. I do hope you got massive value from watching this YouTube video. I'd encourage you to click on the link below to come and do the online training with me. And I've got another video lined up for you, which I think is also going to be really useful, that you should watch once you've registered for the online training with me. So invest with knowledge, invest with skill. I'll see you very soon.